Oh, Bishop took us to church. You hear me? All right. Here we go. All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Music Mondays with Terri Cann. I do not want to prolong any further. Tonight, we are so honored to be talking to the Bishop himself. This is Bishop Greg Davis. Where's he at? Oh, God, did I lose him? There he is. Bishop.
How are you? What's going on?
How are you?
I am well. Your face is like, oh my God, it is. Yes.
See,
You're
let me tell the truth and shame the devil. Thank you very much. This is definitely a filter. This is the beauty filter. I was like, ooh, this is nice. It makes my face look extra beef.
Well, it looks nice, whatever it is.
Thank you so much.
Just don't use it on me.
No, Bishop, you don't need it. Let me tell you. I don't know. I'm sure you don't remember me because it was a long time ago. But I actually sat and talked with you in 2011 at the GMWAs.
Okay.
I was
no, I don't remember that. Yeah.
It's a long time ago. She introduced me to Auntie Liz, as we affectionately call her. And I just remember you being so kind. I was like, he is a superstar. Like, you do not have to be nice to me.
Hey, I live by a phrase that I heard years ago. It's nice to be nice and let everybody know that you're nice.
Very good. And it's a Bible principle. You know, we should be nice, right?
I love me some Liz. She's a sweetheart.
Isn't she amazing? Amazing?
I have to see if she's playing my song though. I'll leave that up to Tracy. But thank you so much for having me.
Listen, Bishop, the honor is all mine. Those of you who are now tuning in, this is a brand new episode of Music Mondays with Terri Cann. I am your host, Terri Cann, and we are talking to the Bishop Greg Davis. Music Mondays with Terri Cann is a show where we get up close and personal with your favorite music artists and music industry professionals. And every now and again, I like to have the preacher's edition because we want to get up close and personal with you. But you just happen to fall in like so many facets. You're a TV host, a radio show, a preacher, a podcaster, a clubhouser.
Matter of fact, I just got off one of my rooms. They're still going, and I just let them take it. We've been going since 3:00. It's still going. We were talking about the relationship is amazing, but the sex is horrible.
See, and we're gonna get into this clubhouse situation a little bit longer a little bit later. I have lots of questions, but we're gonna get to it.
Okay.
I always like to start from the beginning. You have been in ministry for over 30 years. I'm talking major ministry, not just like church corner, storefront, like major in the eyes of the media for over 30 years. And I want to know, where did it all start from? Like, did you always intend that you were going to be a preacher and the Bishop Greg Davis?
No, I was raised in New York City.
New York?
By my mom, Manhattan, 55th and 8th Avenue.
Wow.
The Westerly Apartments.
Okay.
They're still there.
Okay.
But my mother didn't know God, didn't take me to church. She lived with her common law her husband, Sam Moore.
Okay.
And for those of us that are older, the Blues Brothers were depicted from that group, Sam and Dave. Hold on, I'm coming, I'm a soul man. So Sam was my stepfather, and I watched him shoot up in the bathroom and watched her on cocaine. I snorted cocaine, and when his career kind of went down, she became a call girl, because my mother was Creole and Italian, so she was white, basically.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman. And so I would be home alone a lot. And my father came by one day and asked her, it's the only thing my father did for me other than bring life to me. And asked could I move to Detroit. When I got to Detroit at 9 years old, I moved with my grandparents, which was Reverend Ananias Davis and First Lady Davis.
Okay.
That's when I started in church and had an experience with the Lord. And I'll be 59 in 2 months.
Okay.
I would have been in church 50 years.
My
Preaching this year 35 years.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So obviously, well, I won't say obviously. So your father was saved, or with just his parents?
He's a Muslim. It skipped over my father to me.
Wow. Well, he
My
knew
grandfather and then to me. Yeah.
he knew where to place you. He placed you in the right house.
That was God. That was God. Because I probably would, and he said if he stays in New York, he's probably going to die in the streets. I'd have been some kingpin, head of a gang or something. I would have rose to the top, but I would have had a hard life. And so me and my father, we've never had a great relationship. Even he's still living. It's amicable, but because my grandparents were my parents. And so I thank him. I've thanked him several times publicly, even when I was eulogizing my grandfather for giving me life twice. And that was his assignment in my life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And how was the relationship with your mother growing up after you left?
She died when I was 19 in the streets. Yeah,
Wow.
in the streets. When I was 19 years old, which will be 40 years ago this year that she died. And she never got to see me preach. She never got to see me minister. Love you, Bishop Neal. She never got to see any of that. Bishop Neal Robeson is on. She never got to see any of that. Wow. And so I hate that part. My father has, though. He's seen me minister several times. And but she never got a chance to see it. Wow. Yeah, I know, right? But my grandparents were my heart. I love them. They were my parents. My grandfather, I'm the man today because of my grandfather and Bishop Paul Morton. Bishop Paul Morton is my spiritual father. My grandfather was my first spiritual father. And I always say, my grandfather planted, Bishop Morton watered, and God gave the increase. I'm who I am because of those two men.
And God's perfect timing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like he literally uprooted you from New York, dropped you at your grandparents' house in Detroit. What a testimony.
I love Kurt Carr's song. So I'm here today only because of I'm alive today.
Listen.
Oh, he kept me. Don't stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from the age of 9, when you started, when you gave your life to God, you said at the age of 9.
Yep.
Did you know from there that you were called to be a preacher, or were you cool with just being in the pew?
I just worked hard in the church from that time up until even now. I ran from the calling. I got prophesied to when I was a young man in my teens, but I ran from because I saw what my grandfather went through. I was a junior deacon, so I saw all the stuff that he went through as a pastor. So I ran from it. And I received my calling kind of in my 20s, and I knew I was called, but I didn't want to do it. Yeah, I'm not like a lot of these guys that be like, oh, I wanted to, I knew I was called. Nah, not at all.
I'm a PK, Bishop, and I said the last thing I want to do, Lord, please don't let this mantle fall on me, right? Because I think it looks glamorous on the outside, but when you're in the home and you're hearing those 2 and 3 a.m. calls and you're the one making all the hospital visits, et cetera, you realize that it's a lot more than that. So
absolutely.
I understand you wanting to run from the calling. So what was your Jonah experience? What turned you around and said, okay, God, all right.
You really want to know? You really want to know?
This is what the show is about.
So most of my experiences of God promoting me came from a low time in my life. I got married real young. And I was going through a divorce. I've been married more than once. I'm just say that. And I got married. So then we broke up and I accepted my calling from that. So a lot of challenges in our lives
Okay.
come from God getting your attention through, you know, it's funny. I always talk about the pearl. A pearl is always at its best brought forth
Hmm.
when frustration comes, you know.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So that's been my story in most of my triumphs in life.
Mm.
Uh, God has elevated me. So I accepted calling through that time.
What is the most challenging thing about being a pastor, a bishop, a person of prominence that you are? The
That people
most.
don't understand that I'm a man also. You
What?
know, if I go to the dry cleaners and they mess up my suit and I get upset and say, you know, you haven't made my money back, or we get into altercation, the first thing they say, and you're supposed to be a preacher. You know, so sometimes that can be the most challenging thing
Yeah.
in the world, being a man, and because we don't teach the humanity. There's
Mm.
two sides of us. There's the divine, and then there's the humanity. And we
Right.
don't. I'm not Superman all the time.
Right.
I'm Clark Kent most of the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we
Mm.
don't teach that part. And so I've become very transparent as I've gotten older in the last 10 years. I'm
Yeah.
more transparent to share my life, to help others, to let them know that we are both Clark Kent
Yeah.
and
And
Superman.
Superman.
Yeah.
Wow.
You need some Lois Lanes and some
Mm.
Jimmys. You
Mm.
need some Lois Lanes that don't care. Either one is fine with her. She, she knew Clark and she knew the secret of Superman.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So you
Wow.
need both people in your life.
Guys, this is Music Mondays with Terri Cann. We are talking to Bishop Greg Davis, and we have just gotten started. I've asked a few light questions, but we're about to go in. So do us a favor and go ahead and share this live, tag two people, tell them to come on in. Um, Again, this is usually a show for music artists and music industry professionals. I know a lot of independent artists usually tune in, and a lot of aspiring worship leaders, etc. So I want to ask you, I want to backtrack a little bit. What is your definition of worship?
I think worship is not a fast song or a slow song. I think worship is a relationship. Many times we think that we're in worship because the music slows down, or we think that we're in worship because, or we're in praise because the music is faster. Actually, it
Mhm.
has nothing to do with the beat. It has to do with the beat of your heart.
Ooh,
It has to do with the beat of your heart. It has to do with your relationship with God. Um, Believe it or not, um, you know, I do this relationship stuff, and women and men, you should want a man who worships and a woman who worships, because they have the heartbeat of God. But worship is a personal devotion to God. It's not just singing. That
yeah,
is a part of it. It leads us there. But worship is when I am in tune with the Father. It's beyond when I lead prayer, then I am speaking to God, whether in the natural or in my heavenly language. And
right.
so worship comes from relationship. And that's why in the Bible days, when you look at the Ark of the Covenant, when you talk about the outer court, inner court, the Holy of
Mhm.
Holies,
Mhm.
only the priest could step into the Holy of Holies because he dedicated his life to that.
That's right. Mhm.
But thank God that the veil was rent in two from the top to the bottom, so that we now have access, and we should approach it.
Direct.
Yeah, we should approach it the same way, though,
Yeah.
that we are
Yeah.
worthy. You know what I'm saying? Of that he is worthy, but also many times we feel like we're not. But we should approach it that, you know, we are in a place where we in tune with God, and he
Yeah.
accepts our sacrifice.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah,
I love that. Anytime you see me look down, I'm writing. Worship has nothing to do with the beat of the song, but the beat of your heart. Ah,
absolutely,
woo, I love that.
absolutely.
What's your definition of freedom?
When I think of freedom, I think of liberation.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things happened to me about 10 years ago, and that is I became liberated, meaning
Mm,
I moved from the opinion of people.
mm,
that I just don't care anymore. You know, not in a way of recklessness,
Yeah. Yeah.
but in a way that I'm free to move and do what God has called me to be and do, minus the opinion of people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't read a lot of negative stuff. I don't allow people to come to me about other people. And I don't get me wrong, I've messed up recently. I mean, you know, I have my flaws, but I am totally free. That's why I can talk, and you know, even in pastoring, I'm free.
Yeah.
I don't pastor the way I used to. Used to keep people in bondage, and what I mean by that is keep them in church all the time. We can't tell them to go and have babies and build families and start businesses, become entrepreneur, and we keep them in church. We have to free them to be who God has called them to be.
Yes.
And so, even when God created Adam and Eve, there was a freedom. He said, "Only thing I want you to do, y'all can have all this, run around naked, do whatever you're gonna do, but
Whatever.
when you come to the cool of the evening, meet me there and worship. Just take some time out and worship. Go back to your freedom." You know,
Wow.
we've made things kind of, I don't know, we made things tough. I don't think God ever intended for some of the things. It's a lot of legalism in the church. And I think we made things tough.
It's just a
I mean,
whole other
if
show.
more people felt like serving God wasn't such a burden, then, you know, Gandhi said, "I would have been a Christian if it wasn't for Christians." I would have become a Christian if it wasn't for Christians. So I just think at the end of the day, we made things complicated. So when I think of freedom, I think of liberty, that I'm free to do what God has called me to be.
What's missing from the church these days?
Transparency. Transparency. And I'm not talking about where you tell all your business.
Right.
I'm talking to let people know that we are human, and the only reason why we're in church is because it's a hospital.
Yeah.
And we all sick.
Yeah.
And I think we paint to the world that we are superheroes, and we're not.
Right.
God is the superhero.
Mm-hmm.
It is him that we live, move, and have our being. He puts his super on our natural, giving us supernatural ability to do what we couldn't do until he put his super on our natural. And
Yes.
so what's missing is the transparency without judgment. Transparency without judgment. I think we have a lot of preachers that are bored, so they do a lot of talking, and we don't realize that as preachers. For those that might see this repeat or whatever, I think that we don't know that all we have is each other.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we need to, we need to know that none of us. It's amazing to me. Oh, hey Moses, that's one of my members, one of my partners. Moses, bless you. I think that many times we want to put our collars on and we don't want to tell the real deal because we're afraid. I've been through some things. The only reason why I'm still standing and God has been merciful to me is because I've shown mercy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've shown mercy. When you show mercy and grace, people will show it back. There's some things I've done and been through, the human side, that other people have made it through because they were so unforgiving.
Yeah.
And so I think at the end of the day, the church needs to be more transparent and forgiving and tell the world we're no better than you.
Mm-hmm.
We just said yes to God.
Right.
That's the only difference. We're no better. We're not
Mm-hmm.
better. We just have God.
Right.
We have a Savior. That's what this time of the year is about. As we march into Calvary, Lent, all these fasts, we need to understand that only difference is we have a Savior.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah.
The audiences agree, and I see all of your comments. Somebody makes me
Mhm.
want to go back to church.
No, because we make it hard for people to
Yeah.
serve God. We make it seem like he's standing there about to whip the hell out of us. I'm sorry, and do us in. He's a merciful God. Now he is a God, of wrath and all that. When we mess
Indeed.
up, God pulls us back in. But at the end of the day, he's not just some like the hot sauce bottle, just with a pitchfork, and he's
Right.
there. No, we are the finished work of Christ. When he said it's finished, it's us.
Yeah.
We're the finished work of Christ.
Woo.
And all we have to do is walk it out. Our steps are ordered by the Lord. And yes, we're going to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to stumble. We're going to fall.
Mm-hmm.
But Donnie says, get back up again.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. More forgiving, more transparent.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need.
Bishop, you've been in, again, ministry for over 30. You said you're about to celebrate your 35th year.
35th, yeah, in October.
Of preaching, of dealing with the saints. I know there's some times where you want to say, forget this. I know there's some times. So what is it that keeps you going?
This is going to sound real basic and not deep.
I just need you to be real. It's okay.
I have no choice.
Mm.
What keeps me going is I have no choice.
Good point.
I have no choice. I have to fulfill my assignment. I asked God, I said, God, make my name great to this generation before I leave the earth. And he's done that. I don't believe in seasons. Touch your neighbor and say it's a new season. No, I believe in longevity. Yeah, longevity. And that, let me say this. There's some people that can out preach me. They can outlive me. They can definitely outsing me. I just do gospel music because I want to keep the old songs in going. But watch this.
Okay.
You are not going to outwork me. You're not going to outwork me. I'm the hardest working man. You're not going to outwork me.
You are.
And so what keeps me going is that I have no choice. I said yes to God. The other thing is I tried broke, and I don't like broke. I've tried both. So I kind of like, I'm not rich,
Right.
but he supplies my needs. I don't have a wife laying next to me at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to do it if I don't do it?
Right.
Let me shout out, hey, Sister Loretta and Mika. These are people that follow me all over the place. Love y'all so much. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You said I don't like broke. See, but I also think that is one of the was the misconception that if you do go into ministry, like you'll automatically be rich. So you've worked for your income.
Oh, no, I work for mine. And let me tell you something. Ain't nobody gave me nothing. You hear me? I work day in and day out. Day in, day out. I have several revenues. I have wonderful sons and daughters that are blessing to me. But I also work. I have books out. I have another one coming out. I do TV. Yeah, and so radio, I have a lot. I have a lot of streams.
So just because you become, in the ministry, like I used to get teased when I was younger, like, oh, you're a pastor's daughter, so you must be really rich. And I was like, well, I'm not T.D. Jake's daughter. Like, I don't, what I'm saying? We weren't that type of family. But Bishop, oh my God, you have, I want to talk about groundbreaking productions and entertainment. What falls under that entertainment company?
Basically any productions that I do, when COVID wasn't around, conferences, my music, anything that has to do with production, even the stuff I do for television, the Word Network, that's really what that is. Even though I'm a host on Word Network, I've done a lot of specials, the young preachers specials,
Mm-hmm.
barbershop special where we talked to men in the barbershop. We did a beauty shop special where we talked to all single women. All this is on Christian television. Mind you, we did a fashion edition where we went to On and Off the Runway. She's very popular, Miss Sheffield.
Okay.
We went to her
Joyce, right?
we
Joyce
yeah,
Sheffield?
Joyce Sheffield. Yep. We went
Wow.
to her salon, which is Dave Sheffield's our operations manager's wife at work. Many people don't know that. Dave is the operations manager. So we went to her shop and we had a sit down with fashion designers and entrepreneurs in the fashion world here in Michigan. And we did a 2-hour show with a little fashion show. So I don't think Christian television has to be boring.
Thank you.
You know, we did a lot of lifestyle things.
Oh, that's so
and
good.
so that's what groundbreaking and the network, you know, I told them how much it was going to cost, and basically all those things that I just mentioned I actually produced. They didn't get involved with it or anything. I produced them, got a camera crew and writers and all that stuff. And again, I don't believe Christian television has to be boring.
Say it again for the people
So
in
I
the
did a
back.
lot of those kind of things. And so that's what groundbreaking is. Even the recording that we just did and the CD that's coming out and the same, everything falls under groundbreaking.
I admire you, Bishop. I admire you. One, I know from the time I was 16, I knew my mandate was to spread the word of God through the arts. And I just saw it in a different light. And I know that this is why a lot of people don't want to come over into Christianity, because this misconception that it's just boring, you know?
For
So
some
the
it
amount of
is.
things, I'm sorry?
For some it is, but you know, I can't be in anything that's boring.
Me either. Me either. And that's
Yeah,
why I operate the way that I do. So that is outstanding.
I mean, if God says, I come that you might have life and that more abundantly, does that mean we got to be boring? And no, it's just the opposite. The church should be in the entertainment. It should be all those mountains, entertainment, politics, everything.
My thing is, if God tells me that I have dominion over everything, that doesn't just mean, you know, the four walls of my church building.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I am with it. I want to talk about your marriage ministry. Okay, here goes me being totally transparent. Don't be mad at me, Bishop. But I got on Clubhouse one day because I saw that you were in the room. And I'm just like, what is happening? Shoot your shot. What sex to church? What's happening? So as I listened a little bit more, I realized what the room was about. And just in researching you more, I didn't know about your marriage ministry. So then it all came together for me. I said, okay, this makes sense. And
really, it's not, mine is not marriage. Mine is more so to the singles. I kind of minister more to the singles than the married people.
True, the shoot your shot, right?
Well, no, everything is pretty much to the singles because I'm single, and so I share my journey with them. I don't really get. We talk marriage. I talk about my failures in marriage and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say it's not really marriage, but I get what you're saying. But no, the shoot your shot is like a dating game, and and the complaint that people make in the church is, where do I meet somebody? And if we don't make it applicable, if we don't make it, you know, where they gonna go? Then the minute they go get somebody in the club, then we be talking about,
we are equally yoked. What are you doing?
So where they supposed to go? They telling me that most of the people that I talk to, they're saying our ministry, our pastor don't have nothing for the singles or nothing to talk about sex and to talk about all the stuff that they want to talk about. So what they go do, they go listen to people that are not Christians. And then, you know, it's funny you're talking about this because many times looking for the church to talk about it, but most of our marriages are jacked up, so we don't talk about it. You don't have to have.
I'm sorry?
You don't have to have me back. You know, I get it. No, I'm just teasing.
If I had it my way, we will co-host every week. But we can talk about that later because and I'm asking you this next question because I've heard you, you're very open about your past relationships. So for those of you who don't know, what is it that has given you this passion for the singles ministry?
Well, I was married to 20 years to a wonderful woman. We're actually great friends. I actually preached for her Sunday, yesterday.
Oh, wow.
For virtually at two of our churches that we pastored together, and so I go back and preach, and we're good friends. We did ministry together. We raised children. We started churches. We helped start an organization, of course, Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. I'm considered one of the founding fathers there. But watch this. Ministry, the very thing that we sacrifice our life for, is the very thing that broke us up. Yeah, the very thing, because it was both of our fault. When you, as a man, let your marriage get out of control, then it's your fault. So we just took the wave. We took the wave. We were very successful. She's still pastoring 2 churches and successful. And it was, we came to the point that we had nothing to talk about. Had nothing to, and so the very thing, ministry, because back in the day, you were taught God is first, and then the church, and then family,
and then your family, right?
Yeah, but it's that's not so. It's God, family, and then your church, your ministry. So whenever you're out of alignment, then things fall apart. My bishop taught that, and so when I moved back to Detroit, we were living in Philly. When I moved back to Detroit, I started tweeting, become the right one in order to find the right one. And that started the whole when the right one comes movement. As we have 10 years later now, it's books. It's 4 shows a week on Clubhouse. It's tonight at 10 p.m. when we come on the men's panel tonight. We've been going for almost 40 weeks. Men talking about their perspective about women, dating, and relationships.
I love
it. And 7 preachers. 7 preachers. Roger Grice is a part of the comedian, and Pastor Carlton Lynch and Frank Ray III.
Carlton Lynch.
Frank Ray III and others. So 10 o'clock tonight. Head over to subscribe to When the Right One Comes YouTube channel, and 10 p.m. we're on from about 10 until about 11:30ish, 11:45, and it gets real. So if you all are not busy, join us tonight. So When the Right One Comes is everything.
Listen, I was watching some of the shows earlier just to listen. Guys, subscribe right now to When the Right One Comes, Bishop Greg Davis. When I say it gets real in the field, it gets real. I would say for singles and for married folk too, because I was listening to the show entitled 4 Things That Will Ruin Your Relationship. And can you just list those 4 things for us to give them a little taste of?
Oh, you caught me off guard.
I'm sorry.
Someone
said is that 10 p.m. Central? That's Eastern Standard Time, right, Bishop?
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
4 things that will ruin your relationship: talking too much. You talk too much. You tell too much of your business. Too much too soon. Telling people about your relationship that really don't want you to be in a relationship. Telling a woman how good he is, because she want to go find out.
I mean,
and then number 2, you can rush things. Rushing things in a relationship. Take your time. Time is the revealer of all things. Time is the revealer of all things. If you take your time, the representative will eventually go away and the real one will come. All right. Number 3, never owning stuff. It's always everybody else's fault. It's never your fault. It's your fault sometime now.
Has to be.
It's got to be. If you're in a relationship, you're not perfect. And then number four, you don't have you don't have time, meaning relationship takes effort and consistency. So you got to make time. Don't say, I'm so busy, I can't call. No, you're going to make time for what you want to make time for.
Period.
You make time for what you want. Yeah, you make time for what you want to make for. So those are kind of things that's on there, various lessons. I have a new book, Preparing and Positioning for the Right One. It's a story of Ruth, how she prepared herself with Naomi. Many people think that Ruth was waiting on Boaz. She wasn't. She was becoming. She was becoming. She had been married 10 years. Her husband died. So she followed Naomi, and Naomi prepared her. Wow. And then she told her where to go in Boaz's field. And she met Boaz because she was positioned. How you gonna find somebody and you ain't even exposed? They ain't gonna come knock your house down and get in there. And you got to get out here. Okay, so we're in COVID. Okay, since we're in COVID, then you got to get on social media. You got to go virtual. That's how you meet people. Shoot your shot. But women talking about, I want a man. I just want a man. What are you doing for a man to find you? You want him to find you? Then you got to be somewhere sitting for him to find you. Okay,
so let's get specific, right? For those, I don't want anyone to misconstrue anything. And I want this for the woman, for the single woman. Should single woman, is it okay in this day and age to be sliding in the men's DM?
How old are you? How old are you? About
I'm
how
37.
Old are you? You 37?
Yes.
Do you remember flirting?
I remember flirting back. And
so you mean to tell me you've never you mean to tell me you've never flirted first, you never flicked your hair, never
I mean I definitely
okay
the man, but I never said, like, I'm very shy, so I would never verbally say anything, but my actions.
No, but I'm saying that's not okay. So I don't believe you have to slip in the DM if you're not comfortable with that, but here's what I do believe. I believe you can like a picture or two. You could send him a picture and say, nice picture. If he doesn't respond, then you ain't thirsty.
Right.
What's wrong with that? I mean, that's the same thing as doing this or winking or whatever. We're just in a different time now.
Right.
You got to do
single
it virtually.
Woman, we try to help you out on this live tonight, single woman. It is
absolutely
okay to like.
Yeah, I'm just saying, back in the day, it was called flirting. Where did flirting go? You know what I'm saying? So you're just doing it virtually now. And don't be talking about, well, I don't want to do it because I don't want to be rejected. How you going to be rejected by somebody you don't know?
Good point. So at what point, though, does it become from a man's perspective? Because, we think totally different. What point is it too much where the man is like, all right, sis, I get it.
When the man don't respond.
And then
you still doing it, and the man never responds, and you see he looked at your DM. You ain't thirsty.
Okay. So you see the scene sign and no response. Don't hit him back. He wasn't busy. He just was not interested.
Absolutely. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Absolutely. You're not thirsty.
Right.
A little slide in the DM. And then if he don't say nothing, and if there's any men that'll watch this, men, even if you're not interested, just say thank you, because you kill somebody's security. Yeah, pride. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love this. What, guys, by the way, we're going to give you guys a chance to answer a few questions in the few minutes that we have remaining with Bishop, but please don't post any questions on the wall. Just click the little question mark in the comment box, and I'm going to get to the appropriate questions in a second. So what other advice would you give? And I just want to know some more points from your book, because we really want to encourage everyone to not only subscribe to When the Right One comes on YouTube. I pinned Mika's comment. Thank you. Love.
Mika helps me out. That's one of my people. So yeah,
Beautiful. Thank you so much
she's
for
in here
doing
working.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to encourage people to purchase the book too. So what are some other things that single women and men should be doing in their waiting period?
Preparing yourself and not just sitting there idle. Ruth did not sit idly by, but watch this. You also need somebody to mentor you. That's what we're missing. We in relationships, we're missing people to speak into us and tell us. I believe the older men and women should bring on the younger and tell them what to expect and how to love and just share. We don't have that too much, and that's what Naomi did. Naomi shared with her, wisdom before she could get out there. She even told her, for those of y'all that just think that it's wrong to flirt, the truth of the matter is, she even told her how to go over to Boaz's house and to lay at his feet and to pull the covers back so that his feet would get cold and he would wake up and he would know that she was there.
I
Now
never
y'all don't want to talk about that part of it.
No, wait, but hold on. I never read too much into that. She was directing the woman. Look, this is what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You need somebody to tell you what to do. It worked.
Clearly.
And he was a gentleman. He could have took advantage of her that night, but he told her to stay there, lay there. He was going to try. He even tried to find somebody better for her. He said, by in the morning, I'm going to see if there's another kinsman redeemer that's younger than me that can take you on. And the other man said no. So he gave her options. A real man will release you into something greater. Yeah. I mean, everybody, just because somebody like you ain't got to like them back.
Truth.
There's a lot of people that should have never got past hello. You should have left them right there at the hello. Don't care if they bought you dinner, a drink, or whatever. Leave them right there. But no, and all that is in the book. How to do what you need to do. Again, you can go to GregDavisShow.com. I'll go in my bio. Go in my bio on Instagram. Yeah. And get the book. It's only $15. Invest in yourself.
Good. Yeah, someone reposted, a real man will release you as something greater. Wow. This is so good. This is so good. Guys, subscribe, purchase the book. And let's talk about this music that you just put out a single, Lord, I Need a Miracle.
So 14 years ago, I did a CD called Today's Your Day for a Miracle, Volume 1 in Wilmington, Delaware. I was pastoring at the Tabernacle Full Gospel Baptist Church, and I do a conference every year called 7 Days of Glory. Where I love singing the old songs when I'm on the road, blah, blah, blah. And so I actually recorded. Went to the Gospel Music Workshop, and that was when Al Hobbs was living. And I remember I had to preach that night, so I had to leave early in the Announcers Guild. And my team stayed, and I called back, and it was like, Bishop, they in there shouting off of the single. That was the old church medley. Jesus, I'll never forget what you've done for me. And it went into a bunch of other songs. And so 14 years ago, I did that, and I kept saying I'm going to do another one. So October of last year, in the midst of pandemic, we were going to go in the studio and just give it a live effect. My pastor, who pastors the largest church in this area, Solomon Kenlock Triumph Church, let me use his auditorium, and it was empty. So we had the CD is coming out Good Friday, 26 songs. So G.E. Patterson and Ronald Brown, they used to be the ones that would do the congregational type, old call and response. And so there's nobody doing it now.
Right.
So I did volume 2. The single is out, which you played at the beginning, Lord, I Need a Miracle.
Yes.
And I need it right now. And it's doing really good. So I'm pleased. People, they're playing it, they're feeling it. And I'm grateful to the Lord. I'm not a singer at all. I'm a preacher singer. Nah.
I'm gonna bed to
Let me
differ,
tell you a little
Bishop.
secret. Let me tell you a little secret.
Mm-hmm.
My nephew is he's my play nephew, but I've been knowing him ever since he was at Bishop Trotter's church, and that is Vashawn Mitchell.
Oh,
So we sent him the song. I said, "Tell me what you think." Unc, I love it. He said, "I'm gonna be in town at Triumph next week." This was a few months ago. He said, "We're going to the studio. We need to just patch up a couple of spots." And Vashawn went in the studio with me, and we patched up a couple of things. But I just love the old call and response music.
yes.
Yeah.
26
So that's how that happened.
songs.
26 songs. Some of them are medleys, and some of them are just, like G. Patterson's CDs, little snippets.
Yeah.
Like I did a tribute to my grandfather. He loved "Walk with Me, Lord," while I'm on. So we did that for about a minute and a half. I did a tribute to Reverend Charles Nix.
Nice.
Did a James Cleveland tribute.
Nice.
Voices of Tabernacle. Clay Evans. We did "What a Fellowship," and then of course you can get it. But the single right now, you can get it on all of your digital platforms. Lord, I need a miracle, and I need it right now. Yeah. What's his name? Huh? Church. Yeah.
I was telling them, they like church. They need to get this song.
Absolutely. What's the boy's name? Mickey. He has all this declaration songs. I did his song at the end. All is well. It will be all right. It ends. And so the whole project is gonna be really good.
Bishop, what's next? Like, what haven't you done that you need to like check off your bucket list? You have the TV show, the radio show, the podcast.
I'm really my shifting is in the relationship part. I would love a syndicated radio show like a Michael Baisden.
Yeah.
Not Christian, but inspirational.
Right.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with listening to love music, and so I want a syndicated radio show like that. Okay. And would like to go on tour with my relationship show and all that stuff. So that's kind of where I'm going. Secular television, of course, also. So yeah. I think we think ministry is behind the four walls. This should have taught everybody. That ministry is not behind four walls. Yeah. This made some people step up.
I'm grateful for you, Bishop, because and please do not take offense to this. Usually when ministers of your age, you said you'd be turning 59, right? They're very old school in their way of thinking, and there's certain things. It's only now that we're saying words like sex. Usually you would not say that from the pulpit. Even words like depression. Now we're really talking about things. And I think, I know that it's so needed. And like you mentioned before, I would rather hear it from a man of God than from some random person that's going to lead me in the wrong way. So I really admire that, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you for not making Christian television boring.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for really taking dominion over the media. The media is what everyone looks at. Young, old, like everyone focuses on media. So I think if we are to take dominion in anywhere, it's definitely the media. And you are doing such an amazing job with that.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I have to give you your flowers now. Guys, we have a few more minutes with Bishop. If you have a question that you want to ask him, please just put it in the comment box, and we're going to get to it now. And I'm sure you probably answered this question, but if there's any more to add to it, I'd like to ask, what is the bigger picture of your ministry? And I want to talk, I think it's the relationship part, but I don't want to talk for you.
No, it is the relationship part. I'm pivoting right before people's eyes. It's the relationship part. Of course, I'm still doing the Word Network every day at 1 p.m.
Yes.
Been doing Christian television for 15 years, but my main space now will be to help others not to do what I did. My grandparents was married 60 something years.
Mm.
And I wonder sometimes why couldn't it, work like that with me? But everybody has a different, I don't care who you were raised around, everybody has a different mantra and what they're called to, different matrix of what you're
Mm-hmm.
called to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so right now, I would say it's the relationship space that I'm really graced for. Although I have other stuff going on. I mean, I do a show on Sunday nights with the prophets. We started off as young prophets, now just prophets. We've been doing that for about 40 weeks also during the pandemic. And then I have the show tonight. I have 4 shows on Clubhouse and they go for 2 hours or whatever. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I got a lot going on. Then I'm still pastoring.
Right. So how do you balance this all?
I
And
have
when do
good
you
people.
sleep?
I have good people.
Okay.
During COVID, what's that? Ain't nobody sleeping during COVID. We get naps. I
True.
mean, our sleeping is really off. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
really off. And so I have a lot of great people. Like Mika has come on to volunteer to help, and she's helping mainly with my social media, and she's
Awesome.
going to be doing some other things. And I have an executive assistant who is my daughter, goddaughter, really, but she's like a daughter to me. She takes care of my day to day. She scheduled this with a good PR company. Hey, David, if you
First of
watch
all,
this,
your PR team, they are on point. Okay.
yeah,
Shout out to David Brand and
yeah,
Chantel. Amazing.
yeah, yeah. So they make me look good. I have Tracy Artist, who's in
Okay.
the business. You know Tracy, don't you?
I do not, sir. Do I
Okay,
need to?
Tracy's the one that places the music, and she's been doing it for years. And
Okay.
so she's the one that's handling the rollout of my singles and my CD.
Wow.
Uh, I just have great people. My executive pastor, who's been a spiritual daughter of mine for 30 years, she helps run the church. I'm at a different
Okay.
place. I'm not trying to do Bible class every week and all that. And so you got to have good teams, and
Yeah.
you can't wear out the same person with everything you do. A little
Right.
secret as I get ready to close, a little secret. If you are a person that have a lot going on, don't give it to one person to do, because one person can take you down. Have a lot of people who have the puzzle where everybody don't know everything.
Right.
I have different facets of my life,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And so that's the way that I I kind of I kind of maneuver, and that's how I'm successful. Good people. Good people make you
Amazing.
look good,
Amazing.
and you have to appreciate them.
Yes, of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Bishop, do you desire to get married again?
Today, no,
Okay.
not today. Tomorrow, I may get
Amazing.
up and feel differently. It's a court. I do desire by the end of this year to be in a relationship, though.
Okay.
Yeah, like a serious relationship. I want to. Yeah, I do. Yeah, relation. Let's start with relationship. That's my goal for this year. So I'm doing good with that goal.
Bishop, do you have women sliding in your DMs?
Absolutely, I do. But I have a type.
Oh, I want to know the type, and then I'm gonna let you go. I promise. What's the
No, I
type?
ain't telling the type. When I tell my type, it offends people.
It
Those
should
that
not. It
follow
should
me,
help people
those
so
that
they
follow
won't be
me,
left on.
those that follow me, they know my type, Mika and all them. They know my type. I talk about it all the time. But
Mika,
people
type
be
the type. Type the type.
see what people think is because you have a type, that means you saying that other types are not nice. The
Not at
type,
all.
no, it's what I like. It's
And
what
that's
I have
okay.
to live with. Yeah, I'm not gonna get upset because somebody else's type is a different type. We have to
Right.
respect each other's type, and there's no. Here's what I believe: there's nobody ugly. They're just not my type.
Mika said size 4. Is that true?
Mhm.
He said, mm-hmm.
That might be a little big.
Okay. Models only.
Four. See, she telling you. There she goes. She telling you.
Let me read. Size 4. Beautiful hair. Beautiful now. Okay. Beautiful real hair, because anyone can buy beautiful hair.
She's still telling you.
A boss woman.
Yeah.
Boss babe.
So
Okay.
I would 0 to 4. A 4 is pretty much
That's
4
it.
to
Okay.
5. Yeah. Um, it can be her. I prefer hers. See, they're giving comments now. Look, Cassandra. She. What's that? She laughing or is it tears? What is that? I don't
That's
know.
the angel. That's the angel emoji.
Oh, so it can be weave, but it needs to be a good weave.
Okay.
I don't want to see that. Look, I don't want to see their natural hair coming up out of the weave like that.
I love it. Mika says she can't touch the remote.
No, we got to have two TVs because I watch
Multiple
CNN.
TVs in the home. Okay.
I watch CNN all day long.
All day.
All day. Yeah. See?
So she has to be okay with that. Oh my. Okay. Well, these are good to know. So the woman that can't take it, they won't be left on the red. And no one.
She has to dress nice. See?
Of course, she has to dress nice.
Mm-hmm.
I get
it. They laughing.
It's okay to have a preference.
It is.
Okay.
You have a type. Because if you don't have a type, you'll get what you don't want and be miserable. Here's my thing, and I close with this. If you're going to be single, get what you want. Why be single and not get what you want?
There are options.
There you go.
There are options. Oh my gosh. Bishop Greg Davis, it was so amazing to speak with you tonight. I know that you have so much going on, so I don't take it lightly that you came to spend this hour with us. Thank you all for oh, she said I'll leave the age range alone.
Bye, Mika.
I'm gonna leave that one alone too. I'm not gonna comment on that.
Bye, Mika.
Hi, Mika. Thank you so much. You gave some amazing advice. I do want to close with this again for the independent artist, because you are technically in the industry. So do you have any advice that you can close with for aspiring independent artists that are trying to break into the industry?
Be true to you. Be true to you. Be true to your creativity.
Yeah.
And most of all, write your music for what's going on. Like we intentionally led with, Lord, I need a miracle right now because of what's going on.
Yeah.
So when you write according to, so that means you have to be in tune with what's going on in the times. You have to be in tune with what the word is saying and how the word matches the times.
Yeah.
Be intentional about ministering to this generation and to the times. Even though my CD is going to be old school, I get so many young people say, "Oh, this vibe, this sounds good," because the music is even though it's an old song.
Yeah.
It's an old song, but the band is all young people, all young musicians.
Got it.
My producer is like a son to me. He's the MD at the Word Network, and he put the new school to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm dressed in sneakers and some jeans, and I'm new school and old school.
Right.
So learn to, that whatever you do, make sure that you are ministering to the times in which we live. For those independent artists.
Thank you.
And invest back into yourself.
I'm
not talking about on your body. I'm talking about in your career. Don't just put everything on your back that you may put some back into what you're doing.
Love it. Thank you so much, guys. If you are not following Bishop Greg Davis, please do so. Make sure you're following him on Clubhouse. Tune in tonight to When the Right One Comes, Men Edition. It's
on YouTube.
I know it's the men's panel, but I feel like it's really important for the woman to tune in.
That's all we have in there as women.
Because they
want to know the way a man think, and when a man talks, then you should we're probably gonna stay in that same vein tonight. Talk about the relationship is wonderful, amazing, but the sex is horrible. How do you deal with that? So we're probably gonna talk about that tonight.
I'll be tuned in, y'all.
Thank you.
I will be tuned in. So subscribe to the YouTube. Please purchase Bishop's book, Greg Davis is on the Word Network every day at 1 p.m. And Bishop, if you ever feel like you're too overwhelmed and you want to just give me a show on the Word Network, we can talk about that. Okay, don't
Sure.
be afraid to shoot your shot.
Thank you.
But we thank you again for coming on tonight. I had such a good time speaking with you. God bless
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.